Hello guys, let us discuss about Birsa Munda today, a very important personality when it comes to modern India, right? And before I begin, I would like to request you to subscribe Vysh IAS channel if you haven't yet. Also press the bell notification so that you never miss an update. We are coming up with so many content, and I hope you guys are keeping up with all those videos, because consistency is the key, guys, to clear this examination. Now let us start. So Birsa Munda, he was an Indian tribal freedom fighter, right? You have to understand this. He was a tribal freedom fighter, and he was a folk hero. He belonged to Munda tribe, obviously. Then he spearheaded a tribal religious millennial movement, right? And it arose in the Bengal presidency, which is right now it is in present day Jharkhand, right? During the late 19th century, during the British Raj. And this made him, this movement made him, important figure in the Indian independence movement, and that is why we are discussing about him today. And his revolt, his rebellion movement was concentrated in the Munda belt, where this tribes people were mostly found, like Khunti, Tamar, Sarvada and Bandgaon. So Birsa Munda, he received his education in Salga under the guidance of his teacher Jaipal Nag. Later, he converted to Christianity to join the school, that is German mission school, right? And it was then soon he decided to drop out of that, because he understood that the Britishers were actually not just educating themselves, but they're actually through the education they're trying to convert these tribals into Christianity, into their uh, belief system or fold. So after dropping out of the school, he created a faith, right, which was called Birsa. And members of the Munda community soon, they started joining this faith, and this became a challenge for the British conversion activities for those Christian missionaries, of course. And the cause of the Munda revolt was the unfair land grabbing practices by the colonial masters and local authorities, right? Because their land was used to be there, and they used to just take it away, and they were also destroying the that conventional land system which the tribals used to have, right? So they are kind of interfering in their lifestyle, and they are taking away the means of their subsistence as well, right? Then he is also known for challenging the Christian missionaries, and he revolted against the conversion activities, right, along with Munda and Orang communities, right? So Orang is also one of the tribal groups. Then his portrait is still there in the Indian Parliament Museum. Now let us know about him in detail, and first of all we'll know about his early life. So he was born on 15th November 1875, in Ulihatu, Lohar Daga district of the Bengal presidency then. Right now it is in Khunti district of Jharkhand, I mean present day Jharkhand, on Thursday. But there are some dispute regarding his birth date as well as his birthplace, right? Some says it is he was born on 18 July 1872, not 1875. And there are also disputes regarding his birthplace as well. So the folk songs reflect this popular confusion and refer to Ulihitu or Chalkad as his birthplace. So Ulihatu was the birthplace of Sugana Munda, who was the father of Birsa Munda. Then his mother was Karmi Hatu, and younger brother Pasna Munda. They left Ulihatu and proceeded to Kurumda near Birbanki in the search of employment as laborers or crop sharers, right, or ryots. Then his early life was spent with his father at Chalkad, and he grew up, he started interest in playing flute, and he became an expert as well. And then he used to spend most of his time, childhood time, in akhada, that is wrestling ground. And because of the poverty, they were taken to Ayub Hatu, which was his maternal uncle's village. And then Komta Munda, his brother, was also he also moved here and there, and then he came to join their brother and father in Chalkad. Then resistance to Christianity. So he went to school at Salga, run by Jaipal Nag, and he came in contact with the Christian missionary. He visited a few families in the village which had been converted to Christianity, and then he understood that Christian missionaries are converting these tribals into Christianity. So their sole goal is not education but to convert them. Their final goal is to convert them into Christianity. So he was sharp in his studies. Birsa Munda was sharp in his studies, and Jayapal recommended him to join German mission school. And Birsa had to convert to Christianity also for a while, and he was named Birsa David and Birsa Daud also. But later he when he understood that this is they're converting the tribal people, so he left the studies after a few years, and then he started challenging the Christian missionaries, and he also revolted against the conversion activities along the Munda and Orang communities, that is the tribal communities. And then in 1890 his family gave up their membership in the German mission, and all of them ceased to become a Christian. So they reverted back. They left Christianity and then converted to. They reverted to their original traditional tribal religious system. Then the new religion which was found by him. So Birsa Munda is credited for reviving the traditional tribal culture, and it was negatively affected by the Krishna missionary works, right? And he opposed and criticized the church and its practices, such as which used to levy taxes, right? And also Christian religious conversions. And he himself became a preacher, representative of their traditional tribal religion, and he also built up a reputation. Like people all over the place, tribal people, they started coming to him, and they used to see him as a god as well, right? He was like a demigod. He was also used to call Dharti Abba. So the Mundas, Orans, Khadiyas, they all came to Chalkad to see him, and to be cured from their ailments. So they used to believe that Birsa Munda is some kind of god, and he will cure them, and that's why people from other tribal groups also started coming to him. And then both Orao and Munda population up to Barwadi and Chechari became convinced Birsites, right? All of them became Birsites. They came under the faith of Birsa, who used to see him as a god. Then contemporary later folk songs, they commemorate this tremendous impact of Birsa Munda on his people, their joy, expectation at his advent. Then this he was also named Dharti Abba, and everyone used to dearly call him that. Everyone used to call him Dharti Abba, and he started to advise tribal people to pursue their original traditional tribal religious system and not convert to Christianity. Then impressed by his teaching, he became a saintly figure, right? Because that's how people started seeing him. So Birsa Munda's slogan, which he started threatening British, became a threat also for the British Raj. So he used to say that Abbua Raj Ete Jana, forgive me for the pronunciation, guys, Maharani Raj Tundu Jana, right? So which means that let the kingdom of the queen be ended and our kingdom be established. So it is still remembered, and still it is being recited in the places like Jharkhand, Odisha, and the tribal belt Bihar, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh. So the British colonial system intensified the transformation of tribal agrarian system into a feudal system, right? And then these tribals, they did not have very advanced technology, right? They have very primitive kind of tools for obviously for agriculture. So they didn't used to generate a surplus, only how much they required they used to generate. So this because of this, the non tribal peasantry was invited by the chiefs in Chota Nagpur to settle and cultivate, because they were able to generate a surplus of the farm produce. Okay, so this led to the alienation of the lands held by the tribals, and the new thekidar which came into being, which were invited by the British. They were more actually greedy ones, right? They wanted even more surplus, even more profits, like that it was. So this question has appeared in one of the prelims examination. What is Ulgulan, right? So he started a movement, and because of this movement only he became such a legendary figure, I would say. And he became one of the person who we talk about when it comes to Indian national movement, freedom movement, right? So Ulgulan, he was the movement started by Birsa Munda. It is also it means the great tumult. So his struggle against this exploitation and discrimination against tribals led to a big hit against the British government in the form of Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act being passed in 1908. So this act was highly opposed. It was not in the favor of tribals because this act resisted passing land from tribal to non-tribal. So yeah, okay. Then on 5th January 1900, Birsa, his followers, they killed two police constable. So yeah, so here I would like to clarify that this restricted the passing of land from tribal to non-tribal. So this was actually kind of you can say it was kind of victory for Birsa Munda, because this actually favored tribals, right? I'm sorry, I confused kind of thing. So because of his movement, this act was passed. Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act was passed. Okay. So on 5th January 1900, Birsa's follower killed two police constable at 8 KD, some place. Then on 7th January, this was under this movement only, Ulgulan movement. They attacked Khunti police station and they killed a constable, and it raised the house of local shopkeepers, and then local commissioner A. Forbes and deputy commissioner H.C. Stratfield, they rushed to Khunti with a force of 150 men to suppress this rebellion. And the colonial administration was also set a reward for 500 rupees for Birsa Munda. Whoever will help get Birsa Munda arrested will be awarded 500. So the troops under the command of Forbes and Stratfield attacked and defeated Munda's guerrilla, that is Birsa Munda's army, you can say, at Dumbari Hill. And Birsa Munda escaped to Singhum Hills, but later on he was arrested at Jamkopai forest in Chakradhar on 3rd February 1900. And according to the deputy commissioner Ranchi, through letters, 460 tribals were made accused, and in 15 different criminal cases, out of which 63 were convicted, right? And then one of them was sentenced to death, and so many people, like 39 tribals, were transported to life. They were given life sentence. Then 23 were imprisoned up to 14 years, and there were 6 deaths as well, including that of Birsa Munda in the prison during the trials. So he died during trials, and after he died on 9th June 1900. After his death, this movement, the Ulgulan movement, kind of faded out, obviously, because if there is no leadership, the movement can't stay longer, right? So there was no leadership and movement faded out. And then in 1908, but the colonial government introduced this Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act. So this was kind of in favor of tribals, which prohibited the transfer of land from tribal land to the non-tribal people, right? So uh, that's how this saga ended. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and share this video as much as you can. Thank you.